welcome to the show, guys. This is the Penny Pincher. This is all about living cheap, living healthy, living on a budget. And today I'm going to show you real quick how to make a very, very delicious and inexpensive recipe for pot roast. This is just a simple recipe, guys. There's all kinds of variations. You can add different ingredients if you like. As you see here, I have potatoes. I have Yukon potatoes cut in quarters. I have my onions and my carrots cut up. I have a bit of garlic we're gonna add to this. We're gonna add some sea salt or kosher salt. I always use sea salt and kosher salt. We're gonna add some garlic powder, and we're gonna add some black pepper. Most importantly is the meat. Now, usually for pot roast, people will use beef chuck. Chuck is inexpensive, but this right here is this is beef shoulder. Beef shoulder is probably the cheapest cut of meat you're gonna find. As you can see here, this is $2.99 per pound. The entire cost is $6.79 for this piece of meat. And I'm gonna tell you something, beef shoulder is delicious if you use it as pot roast. If you cook it for a long time and get it nice and tender, it is absolutely delicious. All right, so we have our beef shoulder. Again, we're using beef shoulder, not chuck. Beef shoulder. This is the cheapest piece of beef you're gonna find. Okay, but trust me, it is delicious. So I got my pan here, my pot, nice and hot. I've added some vegetable oil, about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil to the bottom of the pan. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna brown this on all sides before we add our water and our ingredients. So just make sure you brown every side of the meat. You know, cook it for maybe like 2 minutes on each side and on the ends as well. And then we will add our water. Okay, so you see how the meat is brown on all sides, pretty much. It took me about, 4 or 5 minutes cooking it on medium high. So now, let's add some water. And let's just add all our ingredients. Some potatoes, we have onions and carrots. Some garlic. Mix that up. We're going to need a bit more water. You don't want to add too much water. You want that's probably okay. You want the meat to kind of be sticking out the top. So just like that. You see how the meat's kind of sticking out like that? Keep it like that. And, of course, we'll add our seasoning. Now, I'm cooking this on high. We want to bring this to a boil. I use a lot of salt in my cooking, by the way. That's up to you how much you want to add. I do salt, I do garlic powder. I pretty much use garlic powder in all my cooking. It's cheap, it's delicious. Okay, and this has been cooking now for about 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. It's been simmering. You can see it's pretty much ready to go. See, the meat's kind of falling apart, just like that. You see that piece right there? It's nice and tender and delicious. Oh my God, this is about ready to eat. I'd probably let it sit here another 20 minutes. It's cooking on very, very low. Remember, you let it come to a boil first on high, lower it down, Let it simmer for 2 to 3 hours, depending on how big a piece of meat you have. Again, we use beef shoulder for this. Beef shoulder is the cheapest cut of meat you can possibly buy. It is just as or more delicious than a chuck roast. Again, this is all about simple and cheap cooking. So I recommend making a pot roast with beef shoulder. Over here, I'm making some rice. So I'm gonna eat this with a little bit of brown rice with some nice pot roast and vegetables on top. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, and check in next week for our next video. Thank you.